Yes. Hello, everyone that's watching or not watching yet. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is something a long time coming. We've been playing some games here on Tuesdays to not just fillers, though. I mean, some really good stuff has come out of our one shots that turn into two shots and those types of things. But tonight I'm very excited to see this system in action because this is something that it's kind of a system that I like playing. It's very fun to me. So let's go ahead and make this happen. I'm going to put this over to Michael Panish because this is our series, not arc, not anything like that. This is a series premiere, people. So get ready and buckle your tentacles because who knows what's going to show up here. Mm-hmm.
I can bring my buckles from my tentacles.
So I'm going to give it over to you, sir. It's all yours.
All right. Well, hello and welcome to Strange Generations, a nightmarish journey through the shadows of America, one generation at a time. We're playing Kids on Bikes, and in our very first episode, let me just introduce the concept of the show, is that we're going to be going through American history, starting in the 1890s, going down the decades with sort of connected arcs of 3 episodes. The first 3, when the characters are just innocent lads and lasses, young school chums experiencing some horrors for the first time. And then for the second 3, we'll come back a decade or so later and see how they are as adults. I'm very excited to be playing Kids on Bikes. This is the first time I think we've done it on Time and Tabletop, and it's a system that I definitely enjoy. It's a little bit different, or it's a lot different than your Dungeons and Dragons, and even more is different than Urban Shadows or Masks. You guys are playing normal people. I mean, as normal as people can be, I suppose. But you have no supernatural powers. You're not secretly werewolves or psychic or superheroes. You're... Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Dallas. You are just some normal folks. Normal folks living in Hallowed Hollow, Massachusetts, a little bit of witch-haunted New England. So before we begin, and I kind of introduce the town and we start getting these characters to meet each other, let's meet these players and these characters. So we'll go around. Please tell me who you are, who you're playing, and sort of what their vibe is, what your vibe is, as we begin Strange Generations. We will start with Nick.
Okay. Starting at the top, I guess. I'm Nick, and today I will be playing Brian Kelly, a young 16-year-old Irish kid who has been in some hard times and now has to work for his food and family. Basically, his father left and his mom can't work, and so now he's making the money for the family and trying to keep his little brother in school. So he's working under the groundskeeper of the school so that he can get his little brother through it.
A noble pursuit. All right. After that, we have Marvin.
All right, so hi, I'm Marvin, and for this series, I'm going to be playing 13-year-old Isaac Vorman, who I describe as, the fat kid that you see in all these shows like The Goonies, It, etc. But I also want him to be like, somewhat, kind of a, wise beyond his years kind of kid. He knows that there is something terribly wrong, not just with Howled Hollow, but, everything in America right now. And he's starting to think, maybe there's something I can do, of just a little bit, to try and help the people out here.
Whoa.
See.
Wise beyond his years is definitely right, because there definitely is something wrong with everything. In this setting, in America, then and now, you name it. We are also very happy to be joined by Dallas.
Hey, everybody. Good to be here. And I am playing a 15-year-old named John Rabbits. He's also a provider because Rabbits's family was quite bad into addiction, and if he doesn't take care of himself, nobody else will. So he's gained sort of like a hardened shell through this, and has really tried to make it.
Oh man,
He's a husky and tall kind of guy, so he gets mistaken for an adult quite a bit. But he definitely stands his ground when pulled out, because he really can't go anywhere quick.
that makes sense. I mean, I think 15 is such an age when you're so close to adulthood, but not quite there. And I think
He's
we're
like
getting
going
some
fast.
echo. Yeah. Scooter, could you mute yourself? Maybe I think we're getting some echo from you. All right, we'll power through.
Mm-hmm. They'll notice it eventually.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit of echo. Oh my god. Okay, so that does make a lot of sense to me. And then rounding out our cast, very happy she is here. It is Kat.
Hello, I'm Kat. I'm playing Desdemona Barrow. I am, the eldest daughter of Captain Barrow. Not necessarily the eldest granddaughter of Grandfather Honeywell, but yet, I do feel very bad for everybody else who's playing, as that you seem to have no money. Life is fairly dreadful even when you do have money, so I can't imagine going without it. I am very recent to the academy. I'm 11 years old. I am excited to be here. Excuse me. I'm excited to be here. I have recovered adequately from scarlet fever recently. I promise I'm no longer contagious. But despite all this, I seem to be quite popular around here, considering, well, I do have rather a lot of money, and the other students seem to appreciate it. Honestly, I could do without the attention, but that is apparently not what life has set out for me.
Well, money matters. We're in the Gilded Age right now, so being gilded is definitely a plus. For everybody else, not so much. All right. Before I do a quick introduction to the setting and the show, I just want to say we do have X card available, that great safety tool. So if anything is you dislike, a quick X card verbally or through the chat or afterwards, whatever you prefer, and we'll just nix it and move on. Okay. And let's begin this episode, those carefree salad days. Hallowed Hollow, a charming seaside town in old New England. Rocky coasts shaped by pounding waves, a bustling seaport, deep woods, and the great mansions of America's captains of industry. In the bustling port district of Mariners Row, cargo arrives from across the globe. And in the bristlebriar woods surrounding the city, Millionaire's Mile houses some of the richest in America. And where do the wealthy send their spawn for schooling? None other than Netherfield Academy for young ladies and gentlemen, the famed boarding school that has cultivated generations of studious minds. It is a place of hallowed tradition, of ancient ritual and venerable custom. In fact, history lays a heavy hand on everything in Hallowed Hollow. It is a land of ghosts, and as the days darken in October's grasp, some ghosts begin to stir. Okay, so with that in mind, let's have these characters meet the other characters, or see how they know each other or don't know each other. So what Kids on Bikes does is it lets you build a relationship with characters before the game even starts. Though you might not know them, which is okay. Maybe you've heard of them. I would say Hallowed Hollow. I mean, usually these games take place in pretty small towns. Hallowed Hollow is big enough to have like a decent downtown, a pretty decent port to an adjective to which bustling can be described. But still, it's not too hard for people to know each other, especially you all in this nexus around the boarding school. So when I don't want to say call on you, but that's not right. I'm a teacher, so when it's your turn, we'll kind of go through the other three characters, and you can let me know if you think you have a positive relationship. You know them and it's positive. You know them and it's negative, or you don't know them, but you've maybe heard about them. So we'll start with young Brian Kelly. And let's start with Brian Kelly and Mr. Ravitz, young Master Ravitz there.
Mr. Ravitz, which is okay. So
do you think you know him and it's a positive relationship?
So
You
John
know
is
him.
sort of semi like me in that he's sort of like kind of a street kid, right? Is that what I heard?
Pretty streetwise.
Um,
Have to be.
Okay. I could see that I know him in a way. It's probably one of the few that I might actually know of this group.
Yeah.
Well, you probably know of me.
Probably. But I don't know you personally. You're a little bit too what's the word? Out of reach.
Fancy. Yeah.
Well, I hate to have anybody think that I'm fancy.
So
Let's see.
you think it's a positive or negative that you know him?
Let's go with a positive one. Why not?
All right.
He's an old chum. Why not?
Oh, you got to have chums.
Yeah.
Okay. So I would like you to roll a d20,
Sure.
and this will provide the question that will kind of clarify your relationship.
Okay. It's a 19. So-
All right. Oh, that's a good one. What is your first memory of this character?
Ooh, interesting. Okay. First memory with John. Let's see. I would say I think before I had to sort of start working, I knew John, and we sort of would play around in the streets. So I think it's sort of like one of my earliest memories was just sort of playing whatever it is that we played in the streets.
Oh man, I'm sure your hoop and stick game.
Yeah.
Stickball.
Yeah, and when you're
Stickball,
stickball,
Yeah.
you were the champion of the whole
It's
block when it comes to stickball.
Played some stickball. Probably a little bit before my little brother was born. So,
All right, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Okay. So what about Brian's relationship with Isaac? You think you know him positively, know him in a negative way, or you don't know him?
Well, I'm not really sure. Let's see. So, Isaac was sort of like, is he from money, or is he just sort of like a middle class kid? Not really sure.
I would say he's one of the normal students here. Doesn't really come from a rich family because, well,
Okay.
how would he have money back then?
Right. Okay. Let's do. And you said, how old was you?
13.
13? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, he's the fat kid of the group.
Okay. So
'Cause
he's a
we
little
always
younger
have to
than
have
me.
one.
Probably, I would say he's probably around just barely older than my little brother. So I would say that I know him through my little brother.
That makes sense.
And I'll just.
You think you approve of this this friend of your little brother's, or no?
Yeah, he seems like a cool kid. I mean, I think it's sort of. I'll let my little brother hang out with kids. He seems pretty cool. It's something that I don't really have at the moment.
Oh yeah, I mean a childhood.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and roll that d20 one more time.
Or,
If you get a 19, we'll roll it again.
yeah. It's a 6. Okay.
Ooh, this is an interesting one.
Ooh, this is an interesting one. Yeah.
Yeah. What role did this character play in the best day of your life?
Jeez.
Oh. If you got to get a feel on Isaac, he's kind of like a jokester, kind of, using humor to diffuse situations and stuff like that.
Okay.
And also, in general, just getting through life.
Yeah. Okay, that actually kind of helps. I would say that he was very instrumental in sort of. I had sort of like a day that I could have to myself, and so the three of us, like us two and my little brother, like sort of like played together, or at least as much as sort of like it brought me back to sort of my younger days when I could actually do that. And so it was sort of a nice reminder that I can actually have a semi-normal life.
Oh man, maybe some jacks were involved.
Yeah.
So. That's nice. Always good when you get to have a little time to forget your troubles. Okay, I like that. And then how about Brian and Desdemona Barrow? Do you think you know her? Don't know her, know her and like her, don't like her, or have heard of her but don't know her?
I would say that I don't know her personally, so.
Right.
Do
Okay.
you think I might know your brother? Or is he slightly older than me? I don't know. I'm only 11.
I would say he's probably around 11 as well, so.
There's a very good chance that I know your brother then. Everybody
you-
at school knows me.
Yeah, you guys probably, you may be in a class or two together, but, I personally don't really know you.
Brian, what is your little brother's name? We should give him a name.
I wrote it down. It was Connor, I believe. Yes.
Oh, of course. A great name.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and roll a d20 for the character you don't know.
That's an 8. So. Okay. So, based on what you know, how is this character different from the rest of their family?
Oh, interesting. Yeah, how does she stand out from the other Barrows?
Is that more of a question for me to answer?
It's okay to
I think it's
collaborate
sort of
on these.
we can.
But also, it's like what he's heard. So this is kind of his perception.
Yeah. So I think from what I know, I think word has gone around that Desdemona has survived from a sickness. So I think
It was
that-
quite horrible, really. They burned almost everything that I own, including
Oh,
my
man.
little rabbit.
Oh, they Velveteen Rabbit you? Oh no.
yeah,
Terrible.
that was the thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of knowing that. I think that's sort of in my head. It's sort of that kind of a thing shapes you in a different way than I think shapes most kids, especially those
sure.
of the rich. So
I know. Even the silver spoon had a little edge to it this time.
Yeah. So she may be sort of maybe she's less sort of. Maybe she's a little bit more approachable than the rest of the Barrows.
I like that. All right, so just maybe take a little note of that, that you have these kind of relationships. Let's move down to John Ravitz. to Mr. Rabbit's there. So Dallas, let's start with. We already know that you and Brian know each other, and he still regards you pretty favorably. But how do you feel, especially since some time has passed since you were on the streets together? Is he still your chum, or has life drawn you apart and you now have a negative relationship? What do you think?
No, I think Brian's a good guy. You know, he doesn't fool around too much. You know, takes care of his little brother. That's good. So I really like that about him because, you know, we got to look out for each other and stuff. And you know, he's a hard worker too. Sometimes when I'm at the docks, you know, I catch him on his way. So it's good.
Absolutely. So let's have you go ahead and roll a d20 on the positive scale, and we'll see what you get.
3.
All right. What great kindness did this character do for you that they don't even remember, but you do?
I think one time when I was out later than probably normal because I couldn't go home. It wasn't safe for me to go home. I was afraid my parents were probably going to beat me or something. So Brian probably helped me out and probably like gave me a night to a place to stay for the night or something. But he probably just thinks like something else happened, you know.
Yeah, he was just letting you, snooze on the fire escape, like you would for any friend. I really like that. Okay. How about Rabbits? I keep calling you Rabbits instead of John.
It's all right. Everybody does, you know. John's more formal and everything. Most of the guys call me Rabbits because there's so many Johns down at the docks. You know what I mean? It's just easier. So,
Rabbits is quite an unusual last name to have. Is that Polish?
I think so. That's what my grandma speaks. I don't understand it, but it's a bit of that, yeah.
Mm.
Father says your people are very hardworking.
A true compliment, I suppose.
That's what I know.
So, what is Ravit's relationship with Isaac?
Let's see.
You think your paths have crossed, or do you only know of him?
Isaac is 13.
13. Yep.
Yeah, he's a student at Netherfield.
He's
Comes
already.
comes from like a decent middle class family.
What do your parents do? If you decided that already or not?
Honestly, I don't even think Isaac really knows where his parents are. They dropped him off here one day and say, "Here's a better life for you, kid. Make the most of it."
Okay.
Wow.
Crap. Then there's probably. I'm not sure how I would know you yet.
All right, that's all right. You could be you've heard of him though. I mean, the orphan at the school. That's something. The foundling.
Yeah, that sure would be talked around. Since there's probably not like a orphanage, right? So that probably would be news around town. At most, I could probably say I've heard of them. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and roll the d20, and we'll see which one that comes up with.
10.
Okay. How far would you go to get to know this character, and why? So does the foundling intrigue you?
Yeah, not having parents, I would trade mine for anybody's, and this kid never had any. That's interesting. I think he should have, someone. So yeah, he should have someone to look up to at least. Brian's a good, older brother, so that'd be a good idea.
All right, very cool.
I like that. That was a good question.
Yeah, I gotta say, these questions are all really solid.
Mm-hmm.
So how about Rabbits and Desdemona? You think you know her and like her, know her and dislike her, or don't know her but have heard of her?
what are the Barrows, or what are they known for mostly?
Oh, well, father's a whaler, and mother is one of the Honeywells. Father also fought in the Civil War. Father's a bit older than mother. He recommissioned his whaling ship to fight against the blasted Southerners.
Then definitely know of them, because I most likely got hired directly through their hands or someone, in their management at the docks.
Sure.
So that makes total sense that I definitely know the Barrows, and would, if you don't mind me calling you Des for short, just for now at least.
That's fine. Many people call me Des or Desi.
Would you have visited or gone around that area?
Yes, when I'm allowed down by the docks, I did. For a time, they thought that the fresh air might help with my condition.
Okay. Then I could probably say that maybe we don't know each other, but I definitely have probably even seen her. If that is something.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
The Honeywells are also involved in shipping, aren't they?
Yeah. I think that's part of it. The Honeywells under Leander Ashford Honeywell he's probably one of the wealthiest people in Hallowed Hollow. He's up there with, the Vanderbilts, Rockefellers, a true titan of industry.
So that's probably when you saw her, because her grandfather's really the one that's in shipping, and her father's more whaling.
Okay. But that would be a curiosity, you being as young as you are. This was probably at least a year ago, right? And then you're walking around the area with all these, guys and rigs and crates and things. Okay. So yeah, I'd definitely say I know of Desdemona for sure.
As Grandpapa says, that it's very important that all of us understand the industry.
Oh, you gotta watch the dock wallopers at work. So go ahead and roll a d20 and we'll see what you get there.
20.
Oh man, this is a rough one. Why don't you want to associate with this character?
What? Okay. Maybe.
Oh dear.
Uh,
Oh, how very unfortunate.
I know.
Maybe I'm afraid if I do something, even through someone else's eyes or rumors, to a family member, or seen talking to her, that I might get thrashed or something. Maybe that's
It is true that Uncle Leo has a frightful temper and has been known to beat many an Irishman in a polock.
Oh, absolutely. I'm sure, if an urchin even looks at his daughter, that's a thrashing.
What a twist on that 20. Wow.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that Leo would also have children.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, I would say so. He's kind of like the style.
The main important thing to remember about Papa and my uncle is that they do tend to get in drinking contests, either on purpose or on accident. And then once they are in their cups, they do tend to take it out on rather everybody.
Ooh. All right. Well, that sums up that family. Okay, so Dallas, Rapids, we got your relationship with all the other characters.
Yep.
Let's move on to young Isaac.
Righto.
All right, so let's start with Isaac and Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know him and like him, know him and dislike him, or you don't know him but you heard of him? I think we already established that you know his brother, so...
Yeah, I would say Isaac and Connor are kind of like best friends here. I would say Connor's the first friend Isaac made at the school, so he definitely knows.
I love that. All right.
Not too sure if he actually hangs out with him as much as Connor, though, but he seems
that's true.
Probably working all the time.
Yeah, but then again, I hang out with his brother more than him, so let's say neutral.
Well, you and your friends neutral. Well, I don't know if that's really an option. It's you know them, you have a good relationship, you know them and have a negative relationship, or you don't know them.
Dang. So, no one have a good relationship. And we don't have a relationship at all. So I would say don't know him.
Okay. Interesting. All right. Hey, that makes sense. I'm sure there's plenty of friends of my sister's that I never met. and spending time with them at all would drive me insane. So would not want to meet them. Go ahead and roll a d20.
No problem. And it's a 19.
Oh man. Okay, this is a rough one. What scandal in the town was this character involved with?
Ooh.
Oh man. So Brian
So what did I do?
and Brian, you can pop in with your ideas about this too.
Oh yeah,
but,
definitely pop in with this. Oh.
What was the
man.
scandal?
Okay, I immediately get into my head. The younger kids tried to get the older kid to buy them something they can't.
Yeah, that makes sense. Driving to town and bring us back some champagne, older brother.
I don't know. Would that be a huge scandal? Is this like a town-wide scandal, or is this sort of like a local scandal?
I would say it's a scandal that's known around the school.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be you were trying to slip alcohol to children.
No.
Nah. That
Maybe
doesn't
you
really
were.
seem- no.
Oh, can Brian not procure spirits for us? The rumor around the school is that he can.
I don't know if we want to do
A
that.
rumor I started.
It's up to Brian. Maybe you
I
like.
mean, it doesn't mean that he actually can do it. It's just that the little
No,
kids
I
all
would say
think that he can.
if he could, he would not. His
Yeah, maybe
experience with spirits and his father when he was still around was not positive.
Hmm.
Um,
Maybe it's something much more charming, like you were keeping a raccoon as a pet, got loose. You know, a fun animal can be involved.
I mean, my relationship with, the groundskeeper in and of itself is sort of like this weird character. So I think sort of my association with him, with the groundskeeper, might give rumors to
The groundskeeper being Calvin Kelp.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, who's, if I read correctly, is like this weird, like possibly mad guy who's just sort of-
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's
So-
like an ex. He's worked for the Honeywells, probably worked for the Barrows. He
Mhm.
sailed the world, and now he's kind of puttering around the grounds.
And
So
it's very
I'm
funny
sorry.
in
What
many
is the
ways.
rumor specifically regarding you and the groundskeeper? Is it similar to that of Achilles and
I haven't-
Patroclus?
I don't know if we want to. Maybe I kind of want to X card that one. if you
yeah,
don't
no,
mind.
not that kind of a relationship. No. I would say just sort of,
They think he's crazy. They think you're crazy too. That kind of thing.
maybe, like maybe I am a little. They think, wait, why would he work for this crazy dude? And like,
He
Is
must
he
be
around
mad.
Yeah, why is he hanging around the groundskeeper so much? It's totally not because of that Isaac kick telling him to try and get him something.
Oh, you know Calvin Kelp's got a secret stash squirreled away somewhere on the grounds.
Can't
Um,
imagine it's quite very much of a secret. It's on his breath all the time.
Oh, that's true. But anything
yeah.
to stop the visions.
yeah.
All right, so let's see. That was Isaac and Brian. Let's do Isaac and Ravitz.
All right, so Isaac and Rabbits. And Rabbits, Mr. Rabbits hangs around the docks a lot, right? It's like a dock worker.
Yeah, they hire anybody pretty much as long as you can lift and not complain.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
He is all of 15, though, is he not?
Hmm.
Perfect. Yeah, he's perfect age to be working full time at the docks.
Well, certainly.
So another older kid. And we established that Mr. Rabbits is trying to get to know Isaac a little bit. I think.
Yeah, because I think Isaac. Yeah, he's like unique to him. He's an orphan, raised by the school. So
Mm-hmm. Well, nah, I gotta go with my gut. Sorry to do this to you, Dallas, but for Isaac, this older kid trying to talk to him about like some deeply personal stuff about his parents and everything kind of drudges up some not comfortable feelings on it. It's like, Why does this guy always want to talk to me about my parents? So I would say it's kind of negative.
No, that makes. Hey, these are the characters, not ourselves, so it's all good.
Yeah, I wanted to get like a positive, a neutral, and a negative relationship with the characters in there.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm.
Oh, I do rather hope that we have a positive relationship.
Well, I'll get to you in a minute.
So go ahead and roll a d20, and let's see
Yeah.
what you get here.
Another d20, and it's a 11.
Ooh, okay. What does this character do that makes you immediately lose your temper?
Talk about his parents.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's rather a rude thing to bring up.
I would like to know them too, but the fact that they left me here and I don't know where exactly they are just means, well, I just have the opinion, fuck them. They didn't care about me, so I don't care about them. So stop bringing them up.
I am
Whoa.
not allowed to say words like that.
Oh, some salty language.
Oh, there are kids far younger than 13 who are already cussing, believe me.
Oh no, one time I said such a word around my father and he washed my mouth out with soap.
Ugh.
Which
Yeah.
might have led to my infection, quite honestly. It was not the cleanest of soaps.
I know. In this age, if you swear, like that's a paddling.
And a well-deserved one.
Yeah. But that's not to say the kids didn't swear when those pesky prefects and teachers weren't around, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Swear away, I say.
When they're not around.
Yeah.
That's essentially the relationship with John and Isaac. I'm sure it will get better as time goes on and they get to know each other, but for now, it's like, no, this sort of tension, a sore point for Isaac at the moment.
Totally. And that brings us to Desdemona.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think Isaac feels towards her? Positive, negative, or doesn't know her?
Well, at first it was kind of neutral, like this new rich kid on the block, it's gonna be like everyone else, sure. But then she mentioned, and I think it was like you lost everything in a fire, including a dead rabbit.
Well, yes, they burned all of my possessions after I had the fever.
And that kind of resonates with Isaac a little bit. He's like coming from nothing up himself, so it's like, I don't know, he feels kind of a kindred spirit with this Demona. I bet. Like, alright, she comes from the same kind of circumstances I'm in. She's not so bad. So I'd say positive.
All right. But that does mean you kind of like you know her and you're friends with her. Is that what you had in
Yeah.
mind?
Yeah, I would say he got to know her a little bit more. And they kind of bonded over their, whole lost everything, didn't really have anything kind of thing. It's like, yeah. She's
Ooh, I like that. All right. Go ahead and roll a d20.
Yeah. And for this, we have a 13.
Ooh, all right. This is a good one. What about this character always makes you happy?
I think it's the fact that she's not like the other rich kids around here. She's kind of more down to earth, not snobby or anything of the sort.
Oh, I know. There's so many little Lord Fauntleroys at this place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they think themselves rather superior to everybody else, but being rich is as much an accident of birth as anything else, don't you think?
Exactly. It's a whole accident of birth. If they were born to save somebody in the South, oh boy.
Wow. All right. So Isaac, that covers your relationships. Let's move on to Desdemona. All right. So Desdemona, let's start with you and Brian. I think
Certainly.
it's
So I'm going to jump out of her voice to make it clear it's me. Do I have to pick one positive, one negative, and one neutral, or?
no. You decide. They could be all negative, all positive, all neutral.
Well, I
that's just
personally,
something I did.
even though he doesn't seem to really particularly know me, I view myself as having a very positive relationship with Brian Kelly, as that I'm quite close friends with his brother Connor.
Oh.
Quite very close friends, as a matter of fact. We have had a little friendly conversation behind the shed at one point.
Oh, man.
Very friendly.
Are you his best girl?
I mean, as much as one can be until the age of 11, of course.
Oh, sure.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, nothing like a schoolboy or school. What's the word? Schoolboy, schoolgirl romance.
I mean, we certainly would say so, but the adults have said that we certainly don't have as that much experience to be making those sorts of decisions.
Go ahead and roll a d20 for positive.
I rolled a 20.
Whoa. Oh, this is a good one.
Done?
What item did this character give you that you treasure?
Oh, jeez. What would I have given you?
Oh man, was it spirits?
No, can I actually? I'm gonna
Sure.
say that it
What'd
was
you have in
actually.
mind?
I'm gonna actually say that it was a raccoon cap, like a coonskin cap.
Whoa, Davy Crockett.
Yeah, which she now wears around all the time. Because you found out that she was really into adventure stories. She actually talks a lot about Rudyard Kipling and pioneers and Davy Crockett and Daniel Boone, and you gave her basically as a hat that you outgrew. But
Sure, those thrilling tales, yeah, the dime
Yeah.
novels.
like, because despite the fact that she is like a rich kid and sickly at that, she also is very into the occult and adventure stories.
Oh man, I love that.
So
All right, so that takes care of Brian. How about Desdemona and rabbits?
I don't think she rather knows rabbits. I mean, other than maybe seeing him fleetingly on the docks.
Okay, well, maybe you've heard some rumors about him. Go ahead and roll a d20.
2.
Ooh, okay. Why do some members of the town, which could be the town or the school, seek out this character?
Oh, well, he's rather known as being quite a good worker, quite good with his hands. I've always said that if you want something done, you should probably go to John Rabbit's.
Ooh, okay.
And being as that he's only 15, he doesn't really demand a fair price for his labor.
Rabbits, good worker reputation.
Is that okay with you, Dallas?
Yeah. I was gonna say either that or someone's looking for my pops for money. So like, hey kid, where's your dad? But yeah, I like that one better.
Okay.
Right. And then, how about Desdemona and Isaac?
Oh, yes. Isaac's quite a very good friend.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a
He, Connor, and I make a triangle of friendship.
Yeah, it's like Harry, Ron, and Hermione, I guess.
I suppose. I don't know what any of that means. But
Yeah.
I bet that it's frightfully romantic.
This Strange Generations is 100% original creation. Copyright TM. Don't sue J.K. Rowling. Please don't.
Oh, well.
I'm sure the Rowling estate is notoriously litigious, like so many other of great authors are. So let's nix that.
No, it's Barry, Dawn, and some
I
other.
mean, the two think of like two boys and young children with two boys and a girl is a rather fairly common trope in literature.
Connor doesn't have red hair, does he?
Connor?
He better not.
No, I would say that we are the Black Irish, so we have dark hair.
Okay.
So
Phew.
yeah.
So I rolled a 5 for my relationship with Isaac.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Okay.
Though actually, there's kind of a dark side to it. Why do you care about this character more than they care about you?
Mm.
Oh, well, I very much care for the fact that he's, unfortunately, by the nature of his skin color, is a bit on the outs with rather a lot of the prejudiced children of the school. I do kind of view it as, probably it's a bit annoying to him, honestly, but I do view it as a bit of a thing to protect him. Even though I'm not physically strong, I do have rather a lot of money, and people don't want to make me cross. So as long as I'm around Isaac, nobody picks on him.
Okay.
I
I mean, go ahead.
Yeah, and I guess Isaac can view that as she's a good friend, sure, but at times it's like the same condescending things he gets from the other white students. He knows she means well, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm sure that kind of paternalistic attitude super common back then, and I mean now kind of sadly.
She has mentioned an annoying number of times that she's named after a character in Othello.
Oh boy.
So it's like day after day after day. Yeah.
But I it's not simply that though. I like Isaac. I mean, I don't, like Isaac like I like Connor, but I do like Isaac.
All right. Well, I think we got some pretty interesting relationships. Let us officially begin the game.
All right.
So we are going to start at Netherfield Academy. In a moment or two, I'll check in to see what you guys are doing here, why you're here. But it's about the same. Maybe it's a little bit later in time than we are right now, getting closer to All Hallows Eve. But we're in the middle of a beautiful New England October, and this is what's going on here. It's a little Netherfield tradition called the Savior's Walk. Founder's Pond is one of the many landmarks dotting the campus of Netherfield Academy. It lays in the garden, surrounded by carefully cultivated flower beds and trees aflame with autumn colors. Now the stern statues of Revolutionary and Civil War generals have some company. A good amount of the student body. A pole slick with grease has been placed at the center of the pond. It is time for the Savior's Walk, a rather profane autumnal Netherfield tradition. Students cheer as would-be champions attempt to cross the pond, before a teacher shows up, of course. All right, so the students are gathering around, cheering each other on as they're trying to complete this walk. What are you guys doing in the crowd?
So it's a walk across like a greased log?
Yes. Yeah, it's inspired by one of those weird New England traditions where they have to walk across a greasy pole,
Sure.
suspended over the water. Yep.
Oh boy.
This is for real. These people do this and have fun.
Well, I believe it's a tradition that was started by the French Canadians. They are lumberjacks. I mean, not all of them. They were also fur trappers. Well, I suppose many of them still are they not?
Yeah, me.
Now that sounds like it'd be a fun thing to do.
But what does fur trapping have to do with walking across a greasy pole?
Well, I think that would have more to do with being a lumberjack.
They are indeed greasy.
Well, I mean, they do have to balance on the logs as they go down the river.
That's what it is. Okay.
One of my other relatives being, well, I suppose it's a second cousin once removed, is a bit of a baron up in the city of Bangor. If you've ever been there, it's a fascinating, bustling town filled with all sorts of, well, rather a lot of French people. But and they cut down the logs and they roll them down the river and they have to stand on them. It's really quite fascinating.
So Connor says, fellas, enough yammering. We should try it.
I'm with you,
Whoa,
Connor.
whoa. You sure about this, Connor?
Oh, don't be a bother. It should be. I can handle it. I got those fast feet.
Yeah, let's go and walk across this greasy pole. I'm with you, Connor.
That's the spirit, Isaac. So they move up to walk across the pole. Oh, go ahead, Desdemona.
She kisses Connor on the cheek for luck.
He goes like, "Whoa, golly," and I'm sure he flushes.
Good luck, sweetest.
Oh, thank you. I will, my lady. I shall carry your favor across.
Oh, good. Yes, if you are going to carry a favor, you may take my copy of the Jungle Book with you.
Thank you. So we established we got Brian is watching this whole sad affair. Rabbits, what are you doing at this moment?
I'm not going to let these little kids show me up. No way. I may be big, but it might help me balance. Let's see how this goes.
All right, very teenage of you. So let's start with Isaac. So you were going to give me a roll, and unless you have, I'm just going to look through the different stats we got here.
If you need
Okay.
strengths, I've got heroic, protective, and quick healing.
Right. I'm not sure those strengths would come into it. I think it's just going to be a roll of one of the one of the
stats.
dice. Yeah, one of the stats. So I could see this being flight, maybe
can see
brawn.
that,
Which one do you think?
I got a D10 in flight and a D12 in brawn.
All right.
So I think I would rather go with brawn.
Yeah.
Okay. And I will say, I mean, walking across a greased pole, it's pretty tricky. This is gonna be a high difficulty. And there are some things, Kids on Bikes is set up so that like not everybody can do everything.
Mm-mm.
There's some things like they got difficulty level of like, higher than a 20, and you can't get that with a D12. So there's no way you could even succeed. I mean, maybe if you like they explode and
Maybe
you
if they
roll it and it
explode,
explodes again, maybe. But it's nearly impossible.
Come to think of it, my father will be rather cross if that copy of the Jungle Book gets wet. Perhaps you could take my handkerchief with the strawberry on it instead as a favor.
I'm already on the edge of the log. He's trying to reach back. Isaac, go ahead and roll. Let's see what happens.
All right. Isaac, you have a good center of gravity, so you should be okay with this. It's a 9.
Okay. I would say it's not a super success. You make it like maybe 2/3 of the way across, and then you sort of like slip down on your knees. You're holding it out with your hands. Connor, who is trying to give the Jungle Book back, is like spinning around behind you, threatening to knock both of you into the pond. It's a mess. Rabbits, Rabbits, let's have you roll and see how you go, and then we'll see if all three of you enter the water together.
Oh, great. All right, so I'm rolling which one again?
Well, I think it could be either brawn or flight.
Brawn's the better one for me to roll, but I don't know. Flight, I have a D4. That sounds so much more fun.
Oh man! All right, go for it.
Um,
And hey, failure is like any game.
this is a
It's a
grease.
part of it.
This is a grease log. I'm a big dude.
All right, go ahead and roll, and then we'll see. Or Desdemona, do you want to do something before he rolls?
Yeah, I do have a question about cool under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
How does it work?
All right. I don't know off the top of my head. Let me check the appendix where it lists the skills. Cool under pressure. Okay.
And adversity tokens.
Yeah, when do we get those?
And
Every time you fail.
Okay.
So
Oh.
far we only had one roll. It was a small success, not a failure. So far nobody has adversity tokens, but you get them
So-
when you fail.
So you spend it and something happens.
Yeah. So with this one you spend it, and it's like instead of rolling a dice, you can just take half the dice's value.
Got it. Okay.
so did I fail this, or did I technically succeed?
I would say you succeeded, but not like a super success.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I talked over you though, Dallas.
That's all right. These kids are way more nimble than I.
Speak for yourself.
I got a 3.
Okay.
So
Well, give yourself an adversity token. You
Oh.
just make a little hatch mark.
sweet. And I am easygoing and unassuming, so I get. Here's another one.
Oh, you get 2.
Yeah.
Very cool. So the adversity tokens, if you fail in the future, you can spend them as many as you want to turn a failure into a success.
Can I have Desdemona do something when it looks like they're all going into the drink?
Sure. Let's see what it is.
Sure. Well, she basically kind of dances out onto the log to grab her book to keep it from falling into the water. And
Boy.
And then provided that she doesn't also fall into the water, just kind of nimbly moves to the other side of the log without noticing that it's happened.
Well, that's going to require a roll.
I would think so. I'm going to roll flight.
Go for it.
I rolled a 12 on a 12-sided die.
Okay. That
That means
actually
I
get to roll again. Yes, it explodes. You get to roll one more time, and we'll add them together.
Okay, so I added a 5 to that, and I get a +1 on flight. So altogether, that's a 19.
Wow. I mean, the difficulty of that, like a super success was a 12. So,
Yeah.
you walking between the raindrops, you daintily hop your way out, scoop the Jungle Book back, and make it back to the side, just as all three of these unfortunates go right into the pond.
And then she takes out the Jungle Book on the other side of the log, having traversed it. And it's like, oh dear, did I win by accident? Sorry.
Well, I would say there's lots of cheers, lots of hoots from the students, delighted by this whole display, but then they all suddenly fall silent as Mr. Frost appears. He is known as the sternest teacher in Netherfield. He teaches like probably the toughest classes, your Latin, your argumentative reasoning, the ones you don't want to take. And the switch is never idle in his hands. So this severe, dark-clad, vulture-beaked teacher storms over, reaches into the pond, and hauls out Connor and Isaac. What exactly were you doing?
Just, taking a swim.
Tell me. Oh, go ahead, Rabbits.
Is it? I mean, does he grab me out, or am I like just ignored?
Well, he's hauling the kids out first, but you can bet he's casting a nasty eye upon you.
Okay, all right, thank you.
He says, "Tell me, is that uniform that you are besmirching with the muck of the pond a sailor's blouse?"
Well, no, sir, but
Oh,
the pond...
are those naval outfits? Is that a naval outfit that you have on by chance?
Well, it could be because the pond belongs to the school, doesn't it?
The pond does indeed belong to the school, but you are not dressed as a sailor. That is the school uniform of Netherfield Academy, which you have sullied.
Well, then perhaps we should get a naval outfit, sir.
I think not. And you, Connor, disgraceful.
With all due respect, they were just fun, and it's not like you guys give them their clothes to wear. So maybe you should just back off. And
My word. I thought Mr. Kelp had put some sense into you. It seems he has not. All three of you shall be punished. Barrow.
Can she have made her way back around the pond, not across the log, but just regularly?
Oh, certainly.
Professor Frost, I certainly hope that you weren't speaking disparagingly about the Navy. I think, as you well know, both my father and my grandfather are quite fond of that particular institution. I don't think that they would encourage me to be learning at an academy or wanting to be giving money to an academy that would disparage their profession, don't you think?
Sounds like you are rolling charm.
I am rolling charm.
All right, let's do it.
That's my D20.
Ooh,
Nice.
okay, that's a good one.
Let's see. So
This is going to be a very high difficulty.
I've
go
got
ahead.
Sure.
Mhm.
I have a 15 on the die, and I get to add 1. So that's
Oh, man.
16.
The difficulty was 15, so you just did it.
nice.
So you're 1 over, so it's not a super success, but he's like, noted, Miss Barrow. But the case remains that these two gentlemen were lounging about, playing in the water, and such actions require punishment.
Look, if anything, don't leave Connor out of this. Look, if you really want to punish someone, you just punish me for it.
Oh, I intend to. You
Just leave
three-
Connor out of this, please. If anything.
No, I am going to give Connor a little lesson. I'm going to show him what becomes of one who neglects their studies by providing him an up-close and personal look at your job. So, I want you, Connor, and Master Isaac here are going to accompany you and Mr. Kelp tonight when he goes about his rounds and does his chores.
That's not necessary.
I insist. And that brings us to this other fellow who's in the pond. Who are you?
Out by now. Okay, so he's not sure of my enrollment. I'm here, checking out the academy. My uncle, Henry Bukowski, sent me.
Oh, right. Well, you shall join them in the with the groundskeeper tonight.
Oh, come on, they were just kids trying to have some fun. I mean, I didn't even think it was fun at first, but I tried, and I failed, but...
Isn't this part of tradition, as they say?
A rather loathsome tradition, one of many. I am sure that a night of hard work will be a better prescription for an upright and moral behavior.
Sure, say that.
But will it teach us anything?
Yes, it will teach you moral behavior by labor.
I mean, it'll teach you something, yeah. I mean, hard work is a good thing to do. I mean...
Yes. Perhaps I was wrong about you, Kelly. Well, I shall leave you to it. Tonight, after supper, report to groundskeeper Kelp, and he will do the rest. And then as he starts ahead, he pauses and looks back and says, "And Miss Barrow, were you involved in any way?"
Oh, yes, I'm quite afraid I was the instigator in the entire thing. It's quite my idea.
I rather thought so.
Why did you have to...
You should probably punish me doubly.
Don't tempt me. You shall join groundskeeper Kelp as well. Perhaps some nightly exercise will do your feeble frame some good.
I mean, who's to say that she would last very long? I mean, she could very well keel over, and you don't know what could happen to her.
Good
what her
day,
family might
Mr.
say.
Kelly. He is already gone.
Damn, I was hoping to try and charm.
Well, I can't
around
have
it.
my best friends at the whole school do hard labor without me. What kind of friend would I be then?
Well, you
Connor's
could-
like, "Oh, go ahead, Isaac."
You could have done the smart thing and not say anything and just, not be punished, but appreciate it.
Well,
It's not necessary.
The fact of the matter is, I'm not in any real danger of getting, what's the word for it? Expelled.
Well, no, but you never
and
know what's
therefore,
happening.
if somebody is to blame somebody for the whole escapade, it's best to be me rather than one gentleman on a scholarship and one who is an orphan.
Well,
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say?
But don't you
There's a
think they're
difference
not
between-
going to pin it on you for who you are?
Sorry?
Don't you think they're not going to pin it on you for who you are?
I mean, they might decide to blame others for it instead. I don't know.
But there's also, if you really think about it, there's also other things at night that could be out there. There's we'd always run into like a kelpie or something like that in this pond. I don't know.
I would rather like to meet a kelpie. I've heard that they need
Oh,
to
you don't
wear
know,
a
you don't want to run into a kelpie. No, you definitely don't want to run into a kelpie.
Aren't they
Connor's
people
like,
that-
"Oh,
What is
Are they
that?
people that turn into seals? That sounds frightfully romantic.
Yes, but they also drag unassuming people underwater and kill them, and it's just not
Oh.
very.
Oh, I so
Ryan-
wish that I could turn into a seal and drag people underwater and kill them. That sounds like a frightfully wonderful bit of sport.
No,
Brian, you
I
and
don't
your
want to-
fairy tales."
Hey, it's nothing to think about it. Hey,
Neither of you
our
are
mother
making-
taught these stories, and you never know what they.
Oh, have you read the work of Mary Shelley? Oh, it's very
I
exciting.
can't say I have. Most of the stories that I know are from from the homeland. So
I know, grandmother's tales of the old country. Lots of
Well, she was not much older than me when she wrote her book on Frankenstein and his monster. It's all very, very romantic. She was married to one famous poet and quite good friends and sleeping with another one. Sorry, I've gotten myself too excited.
well, Connor's going
Yes.
bright red at that too.
Connor, don't you think you should, comfort her? And he does a little shove to Connor.
Oh yes, of course. He goes over and takes Desi's hand.
Well, thank you, my darling. I do so appreciate the comfort.
But anyways, enough of this talk of kelpies and what other things that may go bump in the night. We don't have to worry about anything until we have to worry about it.
Right.
I love that attitude.
And if we do quite run into several monsters, it will be very frightfully romantic and quite a story to tell in my old age.
Right.
All right. So, the rest of the school day goes through. You have your various other classes. Stop by the dining hall for supper. Guess what? It's gruel again. Yeah.
My favorite.
Nothing I used
Maybe
to.
I'll actually get to put some salt on it.
Oh boy.
I'm going to go into the kitchen and see if I can get something extra.
Whoa. All right. Sounds like that's a roll. Would you like to roll charm? You think, or how are you? Are
Sure.
you going to swipe some or talk your way for the
No,
chef?
I plan to talk my way into getting extra something, maybe a pudding, to share with my friends.
Oh man. All right. I would say this is not too difficult. Maybe an 8 difficulty level. Let's
Okay.
go ahead and roll there.
I got exactly an 8. I rolled a 7 on a die and I get +1 on charm.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, you get. I mean, it's not like the best pudding, but you know, the chef's like, well, I made a little too much for myself. Here you go, little lady.
Oh, thank you ever so much. I think that this will really help improve my constitution, and I'm sure that my grandfather and father will remember such a kindness to me.
Oh, see that they do. All right. So, with some wonderful pudding in your bellies, you go back. It's an early. Dark comes pretty early in this part of the world this time of the year. And then you all meet up with groundskeeper Kelp outside. He is like, you know, he's this hunched over ancient sailor, got a peg leg, tells lots of strange stories about how he lost it, of course. White beard, crusting this weathered, wind-chafed face. He's all like bundled up in a pea coat. He is an old, rusty-wheeled carriage with a goat hooked up to it. And he's like, right, they told me you children would be helping me collect some firewood, yes?
That's what I would do anyways.
Unfortunately.
Of course, Kelly. And now you have your whole, some little friends to accompany with you.
It's really not necessary. I could have done this all on my own, but the professor insisted upon it.
Oh, you don't want to cross the professor now, do ya? Anyway, hop in the goat cart. I got axes and saws and so on. Mind the edges, they're sharp.
Of course.
What has sharp edges in this card?
The axes.
The axes and saws and whatnot that you'll be using to chop down branches and trees.
Oh, very good. I quite like the idea of having a sharp axe on my person.
Strange one.
Thought
You're a
comes,
strange little one.
Yeah.
the thought comes to Isaac, should they really be putting all these sharp instruments with kids?
Eh.
I shall probably
I was
recreate
using
some
this
of my
kind
favorite.
of stuff. way
State
before this.
regulations did not exist for this at that point. No way.
I feel as though I shall recreate some of my favorite stories by the great Edgar Allan Poe with such an axe.
Connor's like, oh, those are frightful. Like the one about the heart and the floorboards that keeps on pounding.
That was an interesting one.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Ooh.
bad. I like the
Ghastly.
one where the orangutan is murdering people with a straight razor.
Oh, equally frightful.
I think I heard that pit in the pendulum one. That one was an interesting one.
One of my favorites.
Quite.
Yeah, let's stop talking about all the potential murder and,
Mm.
just get on with our job, shall we? Isaac
Dearest
says with a
Isaac.
bit of a tremble in his voice.
Dearest Isaac, there's nothing to worry about in terms of murder, provided that you are the murderer.
Very true. I mean, it's better that you have this axe when you never know what's out there. So
Yeah, whatever's out there.
So the goat cart heads out into the woods. It's very dark. You have like a lantern. There's a lantern or two in the cart. But yeah, totally dark. You're just rolling by these ancient trees, probably some nightly mist creeping in. After a little while, Kelp stops and says, you'll have to go range in a little far to find the good trees to be with saplings and the dead branches and burn the brightest. Rabbits, was that your name?
Yeah.
You seem responsible. You're in charge of these 3 little ones here.
Oh no.
Sure about that? I mean,
Well,
nothing against you, Rabbits, but I've been doing this stuff for a few months now. Why didn't you trust me, man?
You're going with them, Kelly.
Well, of course.
I just meant I put Rabbits on the nanny duty.
No, I can look over my little brother. He's nothing.
Right.
Very good. Well, you can play governess to the other 2 wee ones. All right. So, head off that a ways, but mind the shadows.
Of course,
There
I
are
always
strange things about in these woods.
What are the
do.
shadows?
Don't I know that?
What strange things? I mean, they're
Oh,
just
you never
trees
know.
out there, right?
Is it frightful little
Oh.
nymphs? Is it goblins? Are there goblins in the woods?
Could be
Oh, that would be
goblins.
frightfully romantic if there were goblins and ghoulies out there.
He
Oh,
gives
humans disabused of their mortal form who have become shadows and specters, perhaps.
he gives the one
Did I use that word
lantern.
correctly? I've only ever read it. Sorry.
No, this is so good. He gives the one lantern to Rabbits.
Okay.
All right. So, you guys head out. You're like walking through these woods, getting a little cold. Hopefully, you bundled up, get your scarves and coats and so on.
Much as I can.
And I have my jaunty raccoon cap on.
But after a little ways of walking, you see something strange. You come across. Well, I will explain. The pale moonlight gleams down from the dark sky, cutting in shafts through the trees and illuminating a clearing, along with the frenzied flames of a roaring bonfire, where a small tree stands amongst the jumping flames. Surrounding the fire, a cluster of figures in dark robes engage in strange dancing. Masks, often horned, emerge from their hoods. At the center, overlooking everything, a great statue of a goat looms. Huge horns catch the firelight. A chin beard seems to dance, and obsidian eyes take in it all. In the air above the bonfire, the flame stirs and breaks. A greenish light appears. An eye. It gazes at you.
Oh no. No. That's some messed up stuff right there.
Honest, like this is this some pagan druidic witchcraft?
Oh yeah, this is some witchcraft shit, right?
What should we do,
So-
brother?
Run. I think we should run.
You guys, this is a joke, right? This isn't real. Right, you guys-
Does that look like a joke? Does the green eye look like a joke to you? I don't think it's a joke, Rabbits.
All right, Desdemona.
Sorry, skill that means that I just take half of whatever I would normally roll, or does it? What does skill that mean?
Let me do a quick peek at the rules here.
Sorry.
Oh, no problem. It's all here in the book. Okay, here's the skill list. Skill that. For in the strengths. Okay. You are assumed to succeed making even moderately difficult checks, 9 or less involving this skill.
Okay.
So, like, if the GM determines you do need to roll for a more difficult check, adds a +3. So if the roll would be a 9, you automatically succeed. But if it's going to be more than that, you get a +3. So that's pretty good.
Well, with my knowledge of the occult, is this ringing any bells?
I would say so. You are vaguely aware of what this might be. I think you in particular.
Yeah, I
Um,
think that my dad might belong to this organization, quite honestly.
Yes. This is the Society of Satyrs, which is, you thought it was just sort of like a fun social club where rich and influential people could just get together and, cut loose in front of like some weird statues and conduct just some good old rituals out in the woods. And I mean, you imagine it was just an excuse to kind of party it up in the wilderness, but so this actually doing some magic and summoning something, that's a new one for you.
So I guess everybody else is panicking and I'm fascinated.
All right, so I think is the group going to try and run, but not Desdemona?
Let's go. I can stay behind. Maybe I can distract it.
I don't.
Oh no, I think I'd be quite good at distracting it. I've heard about similar rituals to this in the Raindrop School for Girls. It's part of the secret society that my father belongs to. They do an individual thing for girls. We get to wear fun little sheepskin aprons in it. Regardless.
No, I mean, you rich people.
I think I'll prove myself adequately distracting.
Are you sure about that? I mean,
I don't know if they look particularly friendly.
Oh no, I'm sure that there are a bunch of lovely captains of industry.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, but the rest of you probably should run.
I'm looking after you all, so if anyone's staying, it's me. You're all running. Follow Brian. He knows where he's going. He knows what he's talking about.
Okay, keep in mind there's only one lantern between you as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'll give it to him. He knows where he's going. He's been working these woods better than me.
All right, so it sounds
I
like
to look over the little ones. So I'm making sure that they're able to run with him. I'll be in the back. I can't run well.
wow.
I
Very
can't
heroic.
run either.
Oh, hello.
Did we lose someone?
Oh,
No?
I think just a hiccup.
Okay.
No.
Yeah, you're all frozen for a bit. Maybe I was frozen, but I think
Oh,
hopefully everything's
who
back
knows?
now.
But yeah,
All right.
no, my running isn't all that great either. So
I could
right.
run, but
my running is my worst.
Actually,
So-
I'm quite adept at running. I just don't particularly want to.
Let's do some rolls.
Okay.
So let's have Isaac and Brian roll flight.
Oh boy.
on the
This is
other
going to
hand,
be. I'm going to set the difficulty at like 8 because. Actually, no, I'll go with the 10.
Ooh,
It's dark. There's roots. You're in a forest.
this
thing
tough
is
to be found.
though, who's staying?
Oh boy! All right, well, go ahead and roll. Let's see what happens. Desdemona and Rabbits are staying.
Yeah,
No,
No,
I
I'm
think
grab
Connor wants to
I'm
stay.
grabbing Connor.
Yeah, but I think his brother's pulling him along. That's what I imagine there.
dang. And if Connor's going, might as well go. If Connor was staying because Desdemona was staying, Isaac would have stayed. But since Connor's going, it's like, okay, she seems to know what she's doing.
All right, well, let's see. How did Brian do? No?
Dude.
Okay, that's a really big failure.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
Wonders of a D4.
Okay, so mark a diversity token.
Ooh.
That's gonna come in handy later. Isaac, you can roll flight as well, then we'll kind of see what happens here.
Yeah, I did. I rolled a 5.
Okay, give yourself an adversity token.
Yeah,
So what happens is you guys try and run.
it's a bottle cap for me.
You should like write something on the sheet so you know.
Yeah, there's
like,
a little section for adversity tokens on the sheet.
I'm
Yeah.
still gonna use the bottle cap.
bottle cap is great. You just got to remember you have it. You know,
Yeah.
For like
I only
the next
have a
game.
pen, so I can't erase stuff.
Gotcha.
Oh, I see. All right, all good. Okay, you trip over an exposed log. The lantern falls down, smashes, and goes out.
Oh,
now-
no.
You're lit up by the fire behind you, and then this green eye. It's got a friend, a pair of them, and this dark outline has like floated away from the ritual, and is like entering the edge of the woods. You can see the outline of a shadowy You can see this midnight black outline of a tall, thin human figure with these like elk horns coming out from the side. All right, Desdemona, you want to try and distract it?
Oh, am I distracting the creature or am I distracting the people?
The people have not noticed you.
Oh, well, there's a creature here. It's that king, what's it called? The king and something.
You might want to roll. I think you should roll the occult to see if you know it.
Okay, sure. So
Or actually, you already have a 9 in it.
yeah, I already have a 9.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead and roll with a +3, and we'll see how much you know.
Okay.
This is
Let's
your brain.
see. So that is a 12.
Okay, is that the maximum on the dice, or?
No, that's not the maximum on the die. I rolled a 9.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So with the 12, you have a
I
pretty good
rolled
base
brains.
of knowledge.
I figured it's probably brains.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is the Earl King, a local legend of this. It's connected to the tales of the Wild Hunt. This mysterious child chasing, child killing, child eating spirit that is now being unleashed on you.
I walk up to it and say, good evening, Mr. Elking. I am Desdemona Barrow of the local Barrows, of course. I do understand that you have quite an interest in eating children. You should be aware that I actually have had a childhood wasting disease, and therefore I'm probably not particularly appetizing to your palate. There are several, correct me if I'm wrong about this, but you probably are looking for children that have done bad things or horrible things. I'm sure that out of my companions, you will not find anybody that's done anything terribly worth eating. But I'm sure that I could direct you to said rule-breaking children. Perhaps you could do something to them. I don't know.
Oh, man. All right. So is your goal here to, just distract it?
Yeah, I'm distracting it so maybe people can get away from it.
Okay. I think you're going to roll charm.
Okay. Trying to charm a supernatural monster.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Those two eyes, just like the two green eyes, boring straight into you. Doesn't say anything as well. Just stares at you.
I've got a 19.
Okay, there was a high difficulty, but you've done it. You get the idea that it doesn't quite maybe understand what you're saying, but just the fact that you're talking to it, it's so unused to that it's frozen, kind of confused.
I'm sorry, you don't maybe seem to understand the Queen's English. Would it be preferred if I spoke in Latin? And she switches over to, Latin to see if maybe it understands that.
What are the rest of you guys doing? The Earl King is confused for the moment, so you have a chance to do something here.
Trying to create an opportunity for everybody else to run away. She's really confident in her own abilities to run.
Well, let's see how the others can. What are the others doing?
Right.
You can see Connor, Brian, after you fell, Connor is picking himself back up. He wants to take a run at the Earl King to help Desdemona.
No. Connor, get behind me. Either you run or just stay behind me.
That's my best girl. It's gonna eat her or something.
If that creature gets anywhere near her, I will.
It's right next to her.
I can protect her.
You must do it. Do it now. Protect her.
Okay. I will run up and sort of impose myself in between the two.
Whoa. You do have access to lumberjack stuff. You brought axes with you.
And I'm basically brandishing the axe and just sort of trying to look as intimidating as possible.
Okay. So. I think that's going to be. I wonder. There's not really a straight intimidation one here.
I believe it says that brawn is sort of your intimidation factor as well.
Yeah, I would say that. That's a really good point. Go ahead and roll your brawn.
That's a D12 for me.
Okay.
Oh no, that's not a good roll though. That's a 3. Oh wait,
Okay.
+1, so 4.
Give yourself an adversity token. You can add them to any roll, as many as you want, to bump up. So if you get enough, even a failure can become a success.
Yeah.
All right. You rush
D12.
over and you try and stand in front. It backfires though. A arm of the Earl King, almost this weird tendril, stretches out, goes around your neck, and lifts you up off the ground.
No.
And I should say that in this game, there's not really health scores. If you get hit, you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
You're normal people. You can't survive this kind of thing. And getting choked by the Earl King is probably going to be fatal unless somebody can save you.
Desdemona has ideas, but I feel like I've been a scene hog, so I'm going to keep quiet until other people had a chance to go.
Yeah, Ravitz, Isaac, what do you think you're going to do here? Oh, Ravitz, go ahead.
You're muted.
Oh.
There we go.
I thought Isaac was ready to go.
Isaac, do you have a plan here?
I got kind of a plan. I'm just not too sure I can do it. So
Let's do it.
All right. So we have one friend right in front of it. The brother of my other friend is currently being choked out. So I think Isaac is going to do the heroic thing here. Suppress his fears, grab one of the axes, and try to chop off the limb that's choking Brian.
Amazing. Okay.
So I don't know how fears work, but I do have heroic says I can spend an adversity token to, like, you know, conquer my fear or something like that.
Absolutely. Oh, I don't know if we picked fears for the characters.
Yeah.
I don't
Did you-
think
You didn't
fears
announce what they were.
themselves really. Like,
Right. Did you
Well, I've
write
only
that?
do you want to know what our fears are?
We can check with that next time up there, unless they really
Yeah.
come into play here.
I don't think there's
Um,
like really any sort of negative thing about it. I think it's more of a roleplay thing for
Role-
fears.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But
Wow.
go ahead.
Same thing with your flaws.
So I guess that's not really anything I can do with heroic.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So you could go ahead and roll. I can see this being brawn.
I'll go with Braun because he's not trying to fight it. He's just trying to cut the limb off.
Yeah.
And since I'm defending one of my friends, I'm also protective. I get to add +3 to it.
Yeah, I forgot that I also
Oh.
had protective.
Oh, that
So-
could have helped.
It
Yeah.
would
Alright.
have been like a 7 for my roll. So I don't think
Okay.
that would have.
Well, all right. Let's see what happens. Go ahead, Isaac.
No problem. That's an 8. But can I
Okay.
spend that adversity token?
Yes. All right. So I would say with a 9, you like just barely do it. You swing the axe up. It cuts into the limb, which like just sort of falls down, turns into shadow.
Mhm.
And then the Earl King's antlered head just spins around and like faces you.
And poor
rabbits.
Isaac's just holding the axe.
Yeah. But it's pretty much distracted and it definitely looks a little bit weakened. Rabbits, what are you doing here?
Okay, bear with me.
Mhm.
So I have 2 adversity tokens. I'm unassuming as one of my strengths.
Okay.
2 tokens to do that. I like to go into the campfire unassumingly dancing, grab a stick of fire, and leave. And then
All right.
burn this thing from behind.
Ooh.
What I was
love that.
doing as Brian was coming over and then Isaac came over, I kind of like unassumingly went over and got this branch while Des was also distracting.
Sure. I mean, lots of dry wood around here, so it definitely catches fire. I would say,
It was a campfire, right?
yeah. So I would say to grab. Oh, yes. I thought you were like, yeah. You pull something out of the fire.
That's what if you would let me do this, I'm gonna spend my points to try to like dance into the group and sort of grab something unassumingly and like leave. That's what I was trying.
All right. I'm thinking charm is the roll for that, and then y'all doing one more for the.
Okay. All right, so I got a 10.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll charm with those adversity tokens.
I got a.
You can spend them after you roll or before you roll.
I got a 9 on the charm. No,
Okay.
I have to spend the tokens in order to do my unassuming.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. 9 will do it.
Okay.
I will say like there, maybe some of well, okay. Here's what I'll say: you do it, but I think you do get noticed.
Okay.
So some of these like hooded masked figures look at you. You can definitely see them making eye contact. Desdemona.
I was hoping that that's where I might be able to jump in on his situation because this ties in with what I was planning to do next.
All right. Absolutely.
If Dallas is done though.
Oh yeah, I was gonna. Yeah, rabbits. Is that okay to kind of
My
have Desdemona pop in as you grab the branch and the burning chunk of firewood and head out?
my goal was to hit the creature so that it wouldn't go after Isaac. That was the goal because you said it was about to do that.
All right. Desdemona, does that like interfere with your plans, or can that like meld with your plan?
I think it melds with the plans because she'd basically, if they were about to chase him into the woods, that's when Desdemona steps out of the woods to talk to the guys around the campfire.
Oh, I see. They are not chasing him.
Gotcha.
Yeah, he was able to do it without like, they sort of like, huh? But then they're kind of like, huh, that was weird, and go back to their dancing.
Gotcha.
You can't stop the groove, when you're in a weird pagan goat cult.
Right.
Okay.
I know all about the dancing from the Raindrop Society for Girls.
Oh man, the Raindrop Society. Okay, Dallas.
I'm actually literally taking that from something that's Masonic, and I'm changing the name mildly.
Ooh, okay. Well, I know we all know about those Masons, so sure. Okay, Dallas, to swing the firewood against the Earl King, I can either be fight or brawn.
I think it has to be fight because brawn is just like your toughness.
Yeah.
I think that's how it has to go. I mean, trust me,
brawn's more health.
It's a 12. I get a +1 on it, but I just want to make sure I'm rolling properly.
Yeah, that sounds right. You get the
Brawn
bonus
is sort of
because
like your strength and your intimidation, and sort of.
Yeah, that's what it's more, just like straight up.
Yeah,
tough.
brawn's more how tough you are.
Yeah,
Fight's
it's like
more
heavy
how
stuff,
skilled you are.
physical stuff. Yeah.
Here we go. Nice. That's a 6, and at the moment, because I'm a rebellious teen, I get a +1 fight, so it's a 7. I don't know how that'll do, but that's
Okay.
the best I could possibly do. That was amazing.
Right. I would say it's definitely not, the Earl King's not out, but like, it doesn't like fire. You hit it with that bit of firewood, the fire like races up its side, goes to the tips of its antlers. It's now, I would say, distracted enough for you to escape. And in fact, you see further down in the woods, the light of another lantern from groundskeeper Kelp and his goat cart. So now you have something to run to at least. All right.
All right. Thanks.
And I will say with that, Connor goes over and takes your hand, Desdemona, and all of you dash through and run out of those woods and make it to the goat cart and Kelp. All right. So Kelp says, like, what did you see in those woods?
Evil?
Oh,
We saw evil.
I think
Oh.
evil's an overstatement.
That thing was evil.
I mean,
Kid.
I'm just calling it right now. That thing was evil. I could feel it.
it was the Earl King, which is more of a primal force of nature than. I don't think it necessarily subscribes to the notions of good or evil. I think it more subscribes to pleasure and hunger.
Oh, yes, but it's a.
You saw
Yes,
that fella?
Yeah, we're talking about the Earl King.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in for it now.
Oh, great.
Oh, good. Does he quite track us down and try to murder us?
I'm afraid you hit the nail on the head there, little missy.
What are these rich people summoning this thing for, anyways? It makes no sense.
Well, I don't know, but every few years, round this time, the society goes out for one of their little get-togethers over there in the woods. And they bring that creature out, and then it goes away, and they say it captures the soul of some child, chases them across the night sky for eternity. The Wild Hunt, they call it.
So, I actually kind of chopped its arm off.
You what?
Yeah.
That's some good stuff, man.
I mean, it was choking Brian.
I can take abuse, man.
I mean,
Well,
if
go
you
ahead.
gentlemen wish, I could go out and speak to the fellows in the woods and see if I couldn't call the Earl King off of us.
it's possible. Yes, well, the thing, when the Earl King sets its sights on something, it's single-minded. It will go after them, and I do not know if you can just call it off like you would a good old dog.
Well, I mean, if somebody summoned it, I certainly can unsummon it.
I don't even know if it works like that, little missy. There is one thing that might protect you.
God. I don't know
Well,
what.
to defeat a ghost, you'll need another ghost.
Well, why are we messing with ghosts here?
Not more ghosts.
I'm sorry, but it stared at you. There's no way around it.
Oh, jolly good. Are we going to have a seance? I've got quite a few black candles in my room, and I am ready to sacrifice a rat if need be.
Connor's like, Desi, you mustn't kill any poor rats.
Well, I mean, it's not because I want vengeance against the rats or anything. It's just, some things like this do require blood sacrifice, and I suppose it's better than murdering a person for it. Although perhaps less effective.
He says, "Tell me, have any of you heard the tale of Captain Baldwin Blake and the Vengeance?"
That's a good question.
What's the likely chance? I have no
Yeah,
idea.
what is the chance of that?
I think
I
maybe
feel
rolling.
like there's almost 100% chance that I have.
Okay, maybe rolling brains would do this.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's cool. That's
Do
my
we all
peak.
do that or just one?
Can I
Sorry?
add the +3 since this is really very occult and also about sailing?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Well, I rolled the 6, so
Okay,
About a
I would
9.
say. All right, I would say maybe like an 8 is the limit for this one.
Nope, I got a 4.
Okay, you give yourselves adversity tokens.
Wealthy never get adversity tokens, you know.
Oh man, well they come in handy.
I know, I just haven't gotten one.
actually,
Rabbits,
Okay.
did you want to
Yeah.
give this one a try or no? It's okay if not.
I got a 9.
I rolled.
What was the-
I tried. My brains are an 8, but
Ooh.
yeah. What was the
Alright.
what was the number again?
you had to
Sorry.
hit max for us.
Yeah, I think it was like an
Hmm.
8.
It was an 8. Okay.
Was a
I rolled a 6. I can spend 2 of the adversity tokens that I have.
There you go.
It's up to you, but I don't know if it's worth it. This is a kind of a knowledge check.
I don't mind. I mean, I figured my character's a bit superstitious, so he might know.
Oh, okay,
So-
yeah. And this is definitely like a sea tale, a sea superstition.
Yeah.
That's related to this area.
I don't mind
Um,
spending 2.
Yeah. So he's like a famous pirate who was like an escaped slave who took over a ship, sailed the seas, was a heroic pirate champion to the downtrodden, fell in love with a woman on the coast who was reputed to be a witch before being tragically he ran afoul of the Society of Satyrs, battled the Royal Navy, and the witch, to kind of help save him, created a storm. But he was lost in the storm, along with all those Royal Navy ships, and supposedly his ghost has been sailing the waters ever since. Sort of inspired by one of our characters that Marvin created for Generation Shadow in our last game. Yeah.
Good old
As well
you.
as some other folklore about Black Sam Bellamy and so some real basis there. Desdemona.
Nick, I don't know if you had heard me, but I had already gotten a 9. You didn't really
Yeah, but I
s-
figured
spend
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff.
that's.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't know if it was like individual or anything like that. So, but
Mhm. Yeah, those adversity tokens do carry over too. So if you want to save them up,
Yeah,
That's
that's
okay.
what I'm saying. Like, you don't need to spend things if somebody's got a success. I just
Mhm.
thought maybe nobody had heard me.
yeah,
okay.
you can
Yeah,
go ahead
yeah.
and put them back, Nick, if you want to.
Okay.
You could bank them up and then be like, I dropped 10 adversity tokens and succeed. That's part of this game too. It's like
I don't
you're,
have that many bottle caps. but-
Yeah. Better start collecting them.
You'll have to switch over to pennies.
Ooh boy!
No, wait, I actually do. No
Oh,
shit.
hooray! The bottle caps.
I drink a lot of beer.
Oh, so yes, it's this terribly frightfully romantic story about this captain. He fell in love with a witch, and there's lots of storms involved. And I suppose that are we going down then to where he is purported to be?
I don't know if you have to. Groundskeeper Kelp says you may not have to go that far. You see, there's stories that the Society of Satyrs took his skull. They like to drink their libations out of it during their rituals. And, the Society sometimes has some of them over here. What you have to do, find a way to slip away from class tomorrow and go to the anatomist's storeroom. You go to the anatomy class, sneak your way down to the storeroom, and that's where you can find the skull.
I don't know. This all sounds crazy. I'm all for helping the kids and everything, man, but I'd rather go work back at the docks. I mean, skipping class could be fun, but drinking blood out of a skull?
You don't have to drink blood out of it. You just have to,
I wasn't
I don't
gonna-
know, find it and do some. I'm not sure what comes next, actually. I'm just a groundskeeper.
So we sneak out of class tomorrow. That's correct. and then we go down and we have to break into a place and find a skull and drink possibly blood. And then she falls over
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
because she got too
catch her
excited.
or something.
Yeah,
I
I'll
would say
see. I'll
that
see you catch her. Yeah,
Yeah.
you better hold on to that one, Mr. Kelly.
Oh yeah.
And Ravitz, you can go back to the docks if you wish, but if you don't get rid of the Earl King, he'll be chasing your soul across the night sky before long.
Come on, Ravitz, you saw that thing. You're in this now, with the rest of us.
Just out of character, Rabbits gave up the whole like childhood spook long ago because fists in the face got rid of that, sort of thing real early.
Oh yeah.
So he's having a hard time processing this. My brains aren't the best. I believe in myself to do things, but don't get me wrong. What I said is what I said. I'm not going to leave you kids,
Yeah.
And he's older than me, so I'm
About much.
definitely gonna go with him. If he says he's going, I'm going with him.
All right.
Holy hell.
Hey,
Desdemona's recovered a little, perhaps.
Mr. Kelp, you wouldn't happen to know if we need keys for that, and if so, you wouldn't happen to have any of those keys.
There's places on this school that even I can't go to. You'll just have to find a way through.
All right then.
Sure, we can talk our way out of any trouble.
Might be able to do something with like the hinges or something.
All right. So, I think unless there's anything else you guys want to do out here in the spooky woods, we can cut ahead to the next day after you've
Sure.
gotten some sleep. Ravitz, where do you think you sleep on the campus?
Is there a guest hall?
I mean, yeah, I don't think they let you use it though.
Okay, then I'm gonna crash on the floor if I can.
If not,
Hey, there's some
I think
warm straw in the stables. You can enjoy that, perhaps.
There we go. That works.
The
Either that
polo
or
team.
I don't mind him staying with me.
That's
So-
probably a lot better.
Yeah.
And the rest of you guys head back to your dormitories. It's already lights out. You just go into your sleeps. Isaac, you hear Connor whimpering for a while, terrified, but he does go to sleep after a while. You're probably also in a similar state.
Kind of. So the mundane terrors, I can handle. The supernatural ones, oh boy.
Lots of nightmares of just endlessly running from this weird, insubstantial antlered figure floating after you. But the morning does come. You get some breakfast, more gruel. This time with a little bit of salt as maybe a treat.
Oh, joy.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we'll get some pepper with it as well.
Desdemona's going to try to talk the lunch person into giving her a little bit of something extra again.
All right, I'll make you roll for it.
Huh?
I think I won't make you roll for it. I think you give a good enough rapport. No need. He just gives you the pudding.
Thank you ever so much.
And then it's time for your first class. Ravitz and Brian, you're probably working around the school, so you don't really have to. Kelp will let you go. But how do Isaac and Desdemona slip away from their class, which I'll say is like ciphering, or maybe it's like Latinate conjugations, pre-romantic poetry, everything that you need to be successful in today's world, of course. And it is actually, why am I blanking on the name here? Let me go down to the characters here. Miss Sylvia Signet is teaching this one.
Huh.
Oh, so maybe it's the civility and comportment class. Yeah, so Miss Signet, she's probably maybe one of the kinder ones. She doesn't go straight to the paddle for disciplinary measures, but also pretty no-nonsense. So how are you going to sneak out?
So are we in the same class or separate classes?
I'll say you're all in the same class.
Okay. I do have an idea, unless you got one, Kat.
I have an idea, but I'm game to hear yours first.
Okay. In that case, Isaac is going to tell a bald-faced lie.
Oh, boy. All right, let's hear it.
Okay, and what was the teacher's name again? Sylvia Signet. Okay.
Yes.
Miss Signet, Desdemona and I, as you probably heard, we were out in the woods yesterday, and I think we may have caught something. I don't feel so good. I think may have to go to the nurse's office. I mean, poor Desdemona, she's already coughing as much as it is, so
She's
we might
like-
get checked out.
Quite honestly, Professor, I don't know what he's talking about. I feel perfectly fine. And then she like falls out of her seat sideways.
And I kind of catch her a little bit. You see what I mean, Miss Signet? We
Mm.
really do have to go.
No,
Ooh,
I need
all
to
right.
stay here and learn about civics. It's dreadfully important.
No,
It's civility and comportment.
I need to learn about civility. That's why I need to stay in class.
Oh, all right, Isaac, go ahead and roll charm.
Cool.
This is gonna be pretty low, though.
This is my D20.
Yeah, this is gonna be real low. So how'd you do?
Let's see here. D20.
Isaac,
and I
are
get
you
a plus
also a
one.
popular kid?
No, I'm the what was it called? The
I think
It's
funny
the
side.
funny
Oh,
Sidekick.
funny sidekick.
yeah. Who also has a D20 in charm.
Makes sense.
Go figure. Rolled a 15 plus 1, 16 altogether.
Ooh, all right, that definitely does it. She's like, one cannot learn to be civil, and one cannot learn to have proper comportment if one is dying.
I agree.
Go to the nurse's office, if you please.
Thank you very much. And come on, Desdemona.
Okay.
Wake up. Come on. Wake up.
I'm coming, yes. Quite.
No, don't cough at me or else we'll really get sick. Oh shit. Okay, walk.
All right, so you all meet outside the anatomy classroom. Connor is there as well. He's like, did you use the old "I'm sick from being in the woods" excuse?
Of course. It worked, didn't it?
That works.
Oh, quite. I threw some crumpled up paper at some other students, and so I'm in trouble,
Connor.
sort of. Oh, it was the quickest way to get out.
But now you're going to go back
What do you
in.
think I've been doing to keep you in school, man? If you're doing stuff like that, what's the
Yes,
point of this?
dear Hodge, you do have to be careful about that. They are quite strict with scholarship students.
Oh, well, fair enough, fair enough. Anyway, let's go into this anatomy class. Oh, hello there, Mr. Ravitz.
Sorry.
Hello there, Mr. Ravitz, he says.
To Connor.
Yeah, Connor's saying this to you.
Hey, little guy. How you doing?
Well, I could be better. Anyway,
He
let's go
got
have
detention.
let's have a poke around in here.
Alrighty.
Okay, so you guys head into the anatomy room. Pretty standard classroom setup. Desks, lots of anatomical diagrams. Somewhere in here, there's a way to get to the storerooms. So how are you going to look around to find it?
But
If one of us was
there's
a
no
treasure
way.
hunter.
Nope. I just have tough and protective, so
Well, maybe a brains roll could do it if you tell me sort of how you're looking.
I would say it's just.
Are we
sort of-
looking? Are we looking for the room itself, or are we looking for a key to get into the room?
The room itself.
Gotcha.
Well, in theory, there would be some sort of door, like
I can't imagine it's a secret hidden door.
I doubt it would be secret. It's just the storeroom.
Exactly.
One has the biggest lock.
Yes, I
Yeah.
suppose we look for the door with the lock on it, and that's very likely to be it.
That's true.
Okay. Yeah, I would say you find there's a door situated behind the desk with a pretty substantial lock.
Mhm.
Doesn't look like it's one that even the groundskeeper has access to. The key might be hidden somewhere in the room, or you can find a way to bust through.
Well,
So I did put in my backpack that I can do like basic repair jobs. So I was wondering if I could just sort of take it off of its hinges.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll. Let's see. I can see this being brains. I could see it being
Sure.
brawn, maybe, because using your strength. But what do you think?
I kind of like the idea of bronze since it's a better roll.
All right, go for it.
So
Difficulty won't be super high because you have the tools. How'd you do?
Rolled a 1.
All right.
Plus 1.
Would it be rather okay if I rolled on brains?
Yeah, go for it.
My idea is simply as follows: that professors tend to put everything in their desks, and they're very likely to put the key in here as well. Possibly in a secret compartment if they're very clever, but more likely than not just under some loose paperwork.
All right. Desdemona, go ahead and roll brains as Brian's tool
5.
fail him.
A 5.
5.
Oh boy.
All
What I
right.
got. Do I get an adversity token, or was 5 enough to have done something?
No, you get an adversity token.
Ooh.
Mark potential.
Yeah, the classic.
Classic, yes.
By the way, I didn't know we were putting things in our backpacks. I'll have to find out what that's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can let you know. Those can be physical objects you own, not necessarily in a backpack you're always carrying, or they can be like mental situations, things that are in your mind, like your mental backpack. Those mental backpacks that we all wear.
Yeah, it says it's not like a game-changing thing. It's
No.
just more like a fun thing that your character would have on you, or like
Yeah.
a go-to if you're freaking out or you're bored. Yeah,
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Backpack. Yeah, it's like the
It gives
RP
like suggestions on what it should be.
it's like
All
the
right.
RP backpack sort of.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. As you're looking around, able to find the key, all of you hear a noise. Coming below the floorboards in this classroom, there is a steady, rhythmic heartbeat. The ka-thump, ka-thump, ka-thump. You can tell it's coming. Yeah, just like Connor's like, just like the story. And he points to one floorboard in the center where you can hear the sound coming from.
It is the beating of his accursed heart, says Desdemona as she rushes over with the axe that she had snuck away during the night.
Oh boy.
Okay, not a full lumberjack axe. Maybe like
Okay,
a little tiny, tomahawk type thingy.
Yeah.
Well,
it was
whatever
either
they had given her to go into the woods.
Sure. I just can't imagine you carrying around a full giant axe around the school without.
No, I
someone
figured it was
noticing.
like a small axe.
Yeah, I like that.
I just thought it would be funny if she still had the axe from last night, as we never said that we gave them
It was
back.
either that or
Yeah,
the
you
pocket
can put
knife
that-
I always carry. So
You can put that in your backpack if you want. Sure.
Also, you can fit rather a lot of things up a Victorian dress
All right.
and have nobody notice. I could actually have a full axe up there and nobody would even know. But
All right.
Still.
So Desdemona, are you just hacking at the floorboards?
yeah, she has nothing in brawn or fight though.
I mean, it is just wood. Go ahead and roll and see what happens.
What am I rolling, brawn?
I
Yeah,
would say so. Yeah.
I got a 4.
Hey.
it explodes, right?
Oh no, that would if my fight. I've got a D6 in brawn.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But I do have an axe, if that affects things at all.
All right. Yeah, that helps. I would say you successfully crack some of the floorboards open. You look inside, and you see a dusty skeleton. But there's something strange about this skeleton. It's small, far too small to belong to a grown man, and it's wearing a Netherfield Academy school uniform. Just as you're examining this the skeleton, you hear a high, bright child's voice coming from the air around you, saying like, "Hello, I think you've dug up my bones."
Excuse me?
That would
I-
me. Let somebody else talk.
And as you look up, you see the ghostly apparition, a translucent figure of a dead Netherfield Academy schoolboy. You see him floating there in the air, just as you hear some knocking at the door, which is opened, and it's about to be opened, and you can tell it's Mr. Frost. You can hear his voice, just as he is about to come in to see what is going on.
I would like to rush over to the door and like hold it closed.
Well, I think that is where we're going to call it a day, actually. So that's going to be.
Okay.
I think this is a good cliffhanger to end on.
All right.
So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
I will say this ghost, the ghost of Darby Dearborn, is going to be our powered character.
Oh.
And Kids on Bikes is a special mechanic where this is a character that all of you three will control together. I'm going to give you a list of like personality traits and a list of powers, and you can kind of pick like what 2 personality traits and what power do you want to have, and you'll be in charge of Darby using those at the right time.
Okay.
It's a little complicated, but so we'll work on it next time, and kind of in between. I'll post that in the field there. But yeah, your own ghostly chum to help you. All right, and that brings this episode of Strange Generations, the first episode, to a close.
Dude. That is so exciting. I love this system. I love what's going on. I mean, of course, the story is going to be amazing. I mean, it's you guys and Michael, so it's like that's kind of just a given. But the mechanics of this, I think we can do some really. You guys are going to do some really cool, off the wall stuff. As we learn this system, I encourage others out there to check it out. Kids on Bikes, make sure and check out everything that's going on with them. I reached out.
They have some great expansion packs out there.
Yeah,
they got
and a lot of
Teens in Space,
Yeah.
Kids on Brooms.
It's super cool. And the system and Exploding Dice to me is fun.
Different
because it gives,
take on critical hits.
Yeah, it's a cool play on that, and I've always been a big fan of Exploding Dice, so I'm really excited about this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thanks for people watching. Make sure and check us out. We'll be doing this for a while. This is our new series that Michael has been working on, and so far I am super intrigued by this. So make sure and tune in next Tuesday, because we will be here same time with the next episode of this first series. And until then, make sure and pull up a chair and
make
time to tabletop.
I
We're
think it's
actually
working better.
It's
Working
So good.
better.
much better.
I don't know why
than
I'm doing
Skype.
this. I'm milking an imaginary cow.
I love it.
Oh, I'm into it. It's good. All right. See you guys. Have a
Yeah.
good week.
Good
You were
night,
ghosts.
everybody.
Nah.